Okay, so thank you so much again. From students from McGill University, we're talking about AI ethics. And last time we were talking about maybe distilling the values, but maybe we should move back a little bit and talk about something maybe even more direct. And that is like there are companies, AI companies, uh, contemplating, in fact, we have already signed an MOU, a memorandum of understanding, and they want to see us cooperating, collaborating with them so that they are the AI company, they are the actual AI programming company, and IITTI will act as the accreditation body. So we will be providing our credentials to students who have gone through the AI system in role playing, in interviewing skills, so on and so forth. So those are the situation now. And the immediate question, the immediate challenge that comes up is what if the AI company, I'm not saying they are bad, it's just that, any AI company working with an accreditation body like IITTI, how can IITTI be sure that the AI system is up to par? What about the occasional, what was it? Was it one of the leading language models? They spew out some sexual, suggestive, or demeaning kind of comments or images and so on. So, how do we actually ensure something like this? Is this a technical question or is this an operational governance issue? So, I think that is the case that Elisa and Alex, we're talking about here.
So are we kind of questioning what metrics are the best to use in order to, let's say, quantify how good the AI model is?
Yes, metrics would be one of them. That is our strong point is how do we set up the infrastructure for something like that? Um, how do we actually going to do it? Is it going to be easy or cheap and fast? Those are operational issues. Those are not philosophical issues in that sense, right, Elisa?
Yeah, I actually had a question about what you mentioned. So, from my understanding, the AI company, what they're doing, is it like role-playing kind of little games and simulations, and through that you would be able to get points like the for the World Civility Index? Is that essentially what we're looking at?
Yeah. One thing before we go on, it is very difficult for us to really judge every scenario that could come up when, maybe thousands, if not tens of thousands of students going through their program because they have a fairly, very large market, this Australian slash Indo company. And how can we be assured that we are going to grant the students the points when 10,000 cases, we don't want to have any single one that is going to be problem. It's like what I may have talked about before. It's would you fly an airline if there are 10% that you're not going to make it to the destination? The answer is no. Would you fly if there's a 0.001% you're not going to be able to make it? The answer probably is still no. If it is 0.0001, there are hundreds of flights per day, and so in one year, you're going to see about a few hundred planes that crash. That is 0.001, let's say. Would you would the citizens of the world accept that, hundreds of commercial airlines would not land the way it should be? The answer is no. Now, with AI, this is even more critical. It's not talking about just a few hundred people dying. We're talking about billions of people who could be affected by decision made because of AI's mistake. So that is the ethical question we need to talk about is how come we are not talking more about this when we allow AI company to charge ahead and make AI even smarter and maybe even more ominous compared to what it is today. So those are the metrics, like Alex was talking about. how should we ensure, like, should IITTI use an AI to monitor an AI? Where's the people in the loop? Those are the governance issues that I think ethical issue that we need to think about.
I think that's a very valid point. It actually really touches on the stuff we're learning. We actually just learned about like human in the loop last class. So I think there'd definitely be a lot of interesting things to look into. So thank you for that. But I was also curious to know like how you were thinking like when you implement like the scores that you got from the AI into, because from my understanding, the ITTI is like one single score that someone could put on like their CV, let's say like a 75 or something. But I know that currently you guys are doing like exams and there's also the reading component. So it's kind of like different things contributing to the same point. And so if we implement AI also into that same point, like how would that be differentiated, I guess, in the evaluation or the
Yeah,
score?
yeah. Every user, if you sign on to IITTI, every user will have your own personal page. So it will list all the activities you have done through the civility, the soft skills, and so on. And the AI component will also be listed in a different table conceptually. So the IITTI IT team are busy building that different table. So the reading components will be one thing, exam will be another thing, field trip and other seminars will be another one, and the IITTI will be another section. So a human resource manager looking at your CV, looking at your resume, will see, yes, this person has done this and that and that and that. Oh, and a big bulk of it, where he or she earned the World Civility Index points are from the AI role-playing practices and so on and so forth. So that would be the report card that can be shown to anybody that you want the other party to see in that regard.
That's awesome. I'm actually working on like the transparency and explainability aspect of it. So that's super relevant and it's great to hear that the IITTI is like considering that aspect already. I also had a question concerning like future thoughts. Like I know for now, this company, the Australian company, they're doing like games and stuff, but in the future, I'm wondering if you're also thinking of like, for example, certifying companies that maybe do like, for example, the AI interview type where they kind of analyze, for example, your behaviors or your facial expressions or your actions, things like that. Because I guess that would be a bit different from the role playing type AI. I'm wondering if that's also something you're looking into, or you guys for now are focusing more on like the task type AIs.
In steps, I think all of the above, but it will be in stages. How well the AI system that they have can recognize facial expression. How can we ensure it is not misinterpreting? Different cultures, when they go to interviews, they have different reactions. Some may seem to be shy or very reticent and reserved and so on. It doesn't mean that they don't know stuff. It's just that they show respect to the interviewer and so they say very little. Whereas maybe some, for example, American culture, they're very outgoing and they say whatever is in their mind. So they speak their mind and that's another thing. How well can an AI system know something like this? And the more critical thing is, how can we prove it? How can we make it transparent so that, yes, it goes through certain tests? Maybe ITTI would need to work on a system where they actually would be able to verify something like that. So new standards will definitely come to make sure those kind of ethical questions can be answered in the future.
Yes, and this is why, at the current point, the main thing that you are looking at, to my understanding, is things that kind of don't necessarily depend on location, on where you're from, on gender, for example. Is that so? That's why um the AI. That's why you're implementing these ones, so the AI can't misinterpret it based on the scenario.
Yes. Well, some critics talk about AI is that it is not contextual enough, so that it doesn't know, what is behind the screen, what is, those are kind of things that only human can perceive and experience is real life kind of interaction, the nuance, what has been spoken before, the vocabulary has been used, the jokes, insiders jokes especially. how do you quantify something like this? That and something that AI may not picked up because that joke was just on social media just 2 seconds ago. Like in Japan or in Hong Kong, sometimes those jokes are so fast, it just, oh, this morning, there's this joke by this influencer, and then everybody start using it. Everybody start talking about it and so on. So if you go to an interview, they may talk about something like this, and AI just may not know something like this. So is AI the answer? That would be another ethical. And so where's the human in the loop in that regard? I always insist that there should be human in the loop to have true human empathy instead of the artificial empathy that AI apparently be able to provide.
That's awesome. Thank you for that. I guess this answers a lot of my questions already, but maybe because as we talked about, like the end goal is to write a report, and last time we were kind of discussing off a different topic. So I guess for now, since we're doing like a report on how AI will be implemented, what are the ethical issues that we considered, are there any like specific types of formats that you're hoping to see, or more like a report type?
Um, what maybe you can brief me as to what is expected of you in the report from your class.
Yeah, so our instructions are quite flexible, honestly. Like she says that the typical format would be like a report. So we just say like, okay, well, explain the organization, bring up like a couple ethical issues and describe those and develop on that. But she also said that she'd be open to doing like other types of materials as well if it's something that you're looking into.
Wow, that opens up a big can of worms.
Yeah, for sure.
In Now, I don't know how much time you have, but I think something that is very, very relevant to us in Canada here right now, maybe not so much in Quebec where McGill is, but here in British Columbia, the federal government just last month signed an earth-moving deal with the Musqueam indigenous band, the Musqueam Indian band. I look at the word India or Indian to be non-derogatory. So if I use the word India, just or Indian, just bear in mind that. So the Indian ban and our Canadian government just signed a deal saying that apparently in the social media, a lot of people are talking about all our private lands. The house that I own right now, right here behind me, belongs to the Indian or partly belong to the Indian ban. um, where's the ethics of that? And how can we use AI if AI can do the research on the background of where the treaty with other tribes comes in other provinces other than BC, so on and so forth. So that would be one use of AI in that. And of course, I guess you can verify the facts and so on in that regard. But
Sorry, sorry. Is this argument that the Indians own your entire house, or is it like the property rights for the land, or is it just the concept that your entire house, including all the materials, technically doesn't belong to you? Is that what the argument's saying?
well, both the Musqueam indigenous chief, Chief Sparrow, come out, and Mark Carney, Prime Minister Mark Carney, came out and say it doesn't affect our private property. What called fee simple. That's the term they use. A fee simple is the house that I own behind me right now. Private properties, millions of them across Canada and so on. It won't affect that. But the thing is though, in business, you don't need to have definitive negatives. You just have to have uncertainties, doubts, and fear. FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And then you can disrupt business in a really big way, just like the Gulf of Hormuz, where ships, oil tankers are not allowed to cross. So all the oil tankers are stuck over there, and oil prices are going up double or maybe even more. Would it be the new World War III from that angle? So those are all things that are AI related. If we use AI, well, they all use AI all over the place. Where's the ethics of using something like this to help in drafting agreements and all that? So those are things that I worry about. Those are the things that are right here in BC. Right now, IITTI, we are planning to have a second humanity hub in Richmond here, just to deal with something like this. We can help the government, we can help the indigenous band to have more civility, to build more trust. That may be a pipe dream, to build more trust, and so they can work together instead of a zero-sum game in most legal wrangling. Is either you win or I win. So the winner takes all. The judge will say, okay, Alex, you win over Elisa. Elisa is a loser in that case. That is not what we want to do. We want to be able to negotiate. And that's what I think Prime Minister Mark Carney are thinking about too. Right now, the cost of legal wrangling for all these years, if not decades, have cost a lot of money just spinning around, basically. Nothing gets built. All the engineers are sitting on the sideline, and the lawyers types are very busy in that sense. So, how should we deal with the ethical issue of governance in that regard? How can we use AI to do something like this to help us to do research in the past, setting precedents, ask AI to maybe suggest solution, brainstorm, so on and so forth. Seeing precedent, as you know, in most Western country under the British common law, the precedents, previous cases uh, makes a lot of decision, a lot of influence in that regard. Do we still want to do something like this? Well, if AI is so smart, why don't we ask AI? But then your course comes in. Is this ethical to ask AI to do something like this? How can we trust AI to do something like this? If the IQ is so high that no human being can fathom all the things that AI is thinking about, how do we reconcile that? So that would be uh, a lot of issue in that regard.
Yeah, thank you very much. Very interesting. Um, I'm not sure what Elisa's plan is, but unfortunately, I also have a doctor's appointment that I have to go to in like 2 minutes.
Okay.
So I personally don't have any more questions. Um, I'm not sure if Elisa does, but thank you so much for your time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you guys
I
have to decide what the report is going to be like if we're not going to do the value storytelling.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask a follow-up about this. Like, in terms of like the report recommendation that the prof suggests us to do, it's really just like, as I mentioned, like a report, and then we recommend things to do, like things to look out for, ethical considerations. You've mentioned a few, but we'd go into them in a bit more detail. Or there's other thing that she proposes, like a checklist or like marketing materials, AI policies, things like that. So I guess I just wanted to have like a clear idea, like if that's something you would like, or we could just go with the recommendations report as suggested by the prof.
Well, I think in when there's a lack of different ideas, I think what the prof is suggesting makes sense. Uh,
Hmm.
my only worry is that well, remember there's AI.
Yeah.
You can ask AI to generate that in 5 seconds. So I have a reservation about that. Put it very honestly.
Do you mean you have reservations about us using AI to do the work?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I can guarantee, at least for myself, that I'm not going to be using AI to research that. Like the prof has covered a lot of these topics, like human in the loop, explainability, transparency. She's covered a lot of these in class and has given us a lot of readings to do. So I would be going off that and doing more research through like academic sources and like news pages like that. I can also like reinforce that to my teammates as well. But I think like the prof has done a good job at like telling us when to use AI and when not to use it. And obviously we won't be using it for doing like any substantive work. So I don't know if that maybe helps a bit, but yeah, just
Yeah.
wanted to say that.
Well, yeah, I guess, we all have our internal code of ethics.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially a class like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would welcome to read your report to see what is the recommendation in maybe in a little more technical and governance details about something like this. I think it should be a mix of technical details like should IITTI be preparing a set of data, a data set, so that we can feed into an AI and see what the responses are. And if the response are acceptable, then we certify it. If not, then not. Um, is that one thing? And in terms of governance, when should we actually have human being in the loop? And who would qualify to do something like this? That can also be something that I would love to read what you guys are thinking about. Who would be qualified for the governance role in an ethics? So it's like the watchdog guarding the watchdog, so to speak. Um,
Mhm.
what kind of governance? Uh, that.
Awesome. Okay. Well, I've noted these down. I'll share them with my team. But I think these are really great questions and would give us a lot of like guidance in what to research. So thank you really much a lot for that. And that's also my last question. So I just wanted to thank you again for speaking with us.
Okay, talk to you.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye bye.